What's going on, guys? Matt in the hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. As you can see, I am on location with our sponsor of the week this week, Houston Sober Agency and Farmers Insurance. Houston has been the first sponsor of the week that has taken me up and agreed to sit down with me on camera and just kind of tell us a little bit about him, who he is, and go into a little bit of background and talk about himself. So number one, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate that. So let's start off with a little bit about you, who you are, and kind of where you came from and what's got you to this point.
Betcha. Well, thank you for that introduction, Matt. My name's Houston again. I'm from Wellington, Kansas. Originally, I started a lawn care business in high school and kind of just kept it going through college and brought it up here to Emporia. And it kind of just, snowballed into one thing into another, and the connections kind of lined up to where I had an opportunity to get into insurance. And so I took that and met all the requirements and stuff I had to and go through the training and whatnot and took it on. So that's kind of how I'm here, short story long. But we do other things, not just insurance. We do property management and lawn care and auctions too, I guess. So yeah, it kind of all works together, with the insurance, and all our clients kind of convert over in one way or another to one of our services. So our job is just to give customers exemplary service and really take care of them and show them what a small town business can do for them. So
awesome. So it started with lawn care.
Started lawn care,
and you just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, I mean, you meet people along the way, business owners along the way, and other farmers agents, and opportunities will open up if they, you prove you're a hard worker and do that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. And with this, you mentioned that you're from Wellington, and was it your family moved here, or what brought you to Emporia to begin with?
I came to Emporia to go to college at the Emporia State University, and that's the only reason I came up here and just kind of stayed here ever since, because I had the lawn care business going, and I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was working at UPS at nights, and after I got out of college, it's kind of scary. You really don't know what the hell you're going to do, and I just was working hard, and honestly found God, and that's everything since then has just gone so much better and in a more positive direction. Cut out the stuff that will make you broke, and like alcohol and gambling and stuff like that. And I cut those out, and things have got a lot better. And I'm serious about my life and serious about business and my family and this community. So that's kind of my core values there on that. So
that's awesome. And you also brought up a property management. Has one just kind of been a stepping stone to the next one, or what's taken you from one to the other, and what has kept you, keeping all those around and not letting go of one or any of those?
You betcha. So doing lawn care essentially is property management. You know what I mean? You're kind of there always on the property. Eventually the customer will ask you, hey, can you fix this leak? Can you paint? Can you help with the deck repairs? I mean, it's constant, and it just turns into you already become the property manager anyway. So my last name's Sober, so we played with it and we call it sober management, because you all need it. But it's we just do property management and insurance and lawn care. So lawn care is just part of that property management. So I didn't let go of them because when I first got in insurance, no one really took me seriously, and I was having a really hard time getting customers, and I wasn't used to rejection, to be honest with you. So I had to get used to that, and so I kept the lawn care business to kind of, have other clients to work from, and I didn't want to just let them go. All the hard work for over the last 10 years, that we put into that, and so we're slowly converting them over to the insurance clients, but we just have to, prove ourselves, get people to trust us. That's a difficult task when you're not from a town, and you know that is just as well. So, so.
Awesome. And so that's just kind of been more of an avenue and more products that you're able to offer, so you're not just pigeonholed into one,
exactly.
but different ones.
And for me, it was hard to come at people as the insurance man. I'm coming at you more as a guy who's already doing your lawn care. We can just help you with insurance. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how my approach is to my clients, instead of I'm just a life insurance salesman. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot more value to it, and if we can provide these other services, we create even more value that Progressive and Geico and those people they couldn't honestly provide. So that's our goal here, to kind of separate us from the competition. So
awesome. And so that brings me to my next question. Give us an idea of kind of a background of farmers, and why you chose farmers versus another one, and what all you offer as a farmer's agent compared, and just kind of take us through that a little bit.
Certainly. So first and foremost, when tragedy strikes, your family's going to come to us, no matter what, whether you guys pass away or at a car wreck or whatever. So first of all, we have a phone number and a place you can come right away. We have a 24-hour claim service. So basically, if you had a tornado the next day, you could have a check at your doorstep. You know what I mean? So that is huge for a lot of people. Geico can't possibly be here within the next day. You know what I mean? They have to send an adjuster, which through a third party. You know what I mean? It takes time, and Farmers, as a 100-year-old company, it can provide and be there for you, and it stands behind their customers. Farmers, insure some of the biggest buildings, the biggest companies in the world, and it's one of the strongest brands there is. And I chose them because of the recognition, and plus, Farmers is unique and allows you to ride outside for life and commercial too. So I can give you more options with important things like that. But Farmers home and auto product is so good, I wouldn't want to ride it anywhere else. You know what I mean? So that's really why Farmers was a good fit for us and our image and what we do already. So
okay. And I was doing some research before I came, and I noticed that you do auto, you do home, life, renter's insurance, which I have noticed there's companies that do it, but nobody really advertises that. Mm-hmm. And then there was a business insurance.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. So do you mind kind of giving
Absolutely.
us a rundown of what that is?
So Matt, say you sell an apartment condominium. We want to insure that condominium for the owner of the condominium, but we also want to insure it for the tenants too. So insuring it for the owner of the condominium, we would do a commercial policy, so the building is covered and all that during a storm and whatnot. And then we also do renters coverage for the people that are living there in case they damage it or start a fire or whatnot. They're also covered. So we're trying to protect everyone in every way, from getting sued or medical bills, all that kind of thing. Real problems, real emergencies is what we're really trying to save you from. So
awesome. And you also told me one thing that you offer that not every insurance agent or company offers, that you do as well, just to kind of help people along with that process, is an auction service. You are an auctioneer.
That's correct. Back in Wellington, my best buddy, his grandmother was a part owner of an auction business down there in Oxford, Kansas. So I've been working with them since I was a kid. Started by just carrying the stuff to customers and stuff like that. Last few years have gotten into more of the auctioneering stuff. So somebody buy, I'm gonna give me 5, how about 80, how about 5, I'm gonna give me 90, how about 5, now 100. I got 10, I'm gonna give me $10 down, sold. Buyer number 1, 2, 3. So I liked it because you don't have to have any inventory. You just sell other people's stuff, and you can kind of get a cut of it, basically. So it's a cool business model, but it's just like everything. It's going online, and so that's maybe one thing we can talk about too, kind of the transformation of this paradigm shift we're seeing in society right now. Honestly, I mean, it's
absolutely.
And your industry is the same as mine, where you can just go to Zillow and look at the house inside and out, or you can go to Policy Genius and build you an insurance policy without even coming down to us. So you and we're having to think of ways to separate ourselves, and I mean, this is obviously one way we are doing it. So. But it's a scary time right now, and the generation before us didn't have to kind of go through this, but we just have to adapt as business owners now, and the ones who really make it through this coronavirus stuff, I think, are really going to stand the test of time. But it's really, I have to put my thinking cap on every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's every day, and I just got to pray honestly, that's why I've gotten so close to God, because it's just like you just never know what's going to happen day to day, and so just waking up and thankful. I mean, every day is worth $1 million. I'd take 24 hours of life over $1 million every day. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions I wanted to ask and kind of pick your brain on, as well as what have you seen, not only just within your agency and your office, but with farmers as a whole, and have there been any things that you guys have had to kind of adjust with, like everybody else, over the last couple months because of the coronavirus?
Certainly. A lot of people, when the town shut down, it's hard to get people used to coming back down here for appointments and stuff. So we've really had to adapt to telesales and telephone interviews and whatnot. We have masks on site for people who like to use those. And let's see. So farmers, they gave back, money on their auto policies during that whole Corona thing. But, you guys saw that over the news. But mainly what's scaring me is just the violence and the stuff like that, and and they just one day it could they could point our company out and we'd have to shut our doors. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of scary what's going on right now, and I think a lot of it's obviously probably political based, but we don't have to necessarily get into that. But as a business owner, we're really having to fight for our rights to open the door every day. You know what I mean? And where do you kind of see this going yourself? I mean, you have a little more experience with things, and Matt's a veteran. I don't know if you guys know that, but he's served, and thank you for your service. And can you tell us kind of what you're seeing, having worked in the government level of things, and what do you see happening right now? And
the biggest thing for me when I got out versus right now, because I got out in 2003, and that was really before Iraq even really got big.
But it's post 9/11, so
it is post 9/11.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So that was there was that bubble that happened, which was not as significant as the bubble in 08 and 09.
Gotcha.
With that, what I've seen in my industry specifically is with the interest rates going as low as they have, is there going to be a bubble at some point? If there is, I don't see it as bad as it was in 08 and 09 or even in 2001, because what caused that bubble was they weren't really pre-qualifying people.
Right.
People that shouldn't have 3-4 homes were getting approved and qualified for upwards of 5 homes.
Exactly.
And so now they've kind of adapted now with making the credit scores go up just a little bit, going through and putting in some more legwork. So if there is, I don't foresee it being as huge as it was. I could be completely wrong because the market right now is so strong in this area. I know we talked before that the kind of the sweet spot in housing for this area, the average days on market just over the last 30 days is 19 days.
Right, and that's incredible, and that's what scares me, is because I don't think the economy's really felt the stimulus money run out yet. I think the Fed is still pumping a bunch of money into the markets through the low interest rate bank loans. It's giving a lot of people cheap money, so a lot of people are buying houses, which they're going to have to quantitative ease is what they're doing. Quantitative easing is kind of what they're calling it, but they're just pumping a ton of money into this market to make it look good. And I'm afraid when we come out of this virus thing, and I think a lot of businesses are going to be hurting for cash. So and when those interest rates go back up too, it'll kind of seal people's ability to get loans, and that hurts everybody. We're insuring less, you're selling less homes. You know what I mean? It kills everybody. So,
and it absolutely can. I know they're going to go back up at some point. They have to. It's inevitable. Are they going to creep back up slowly? More than likely. Right. Are they going to get as bad as the interest rates were in the 80s?
Right.
That's highly unlikely, because I've heard stories from other agents of people that they got qualified and were excited about paying 16 to 18% interest for.
Imagine.
Right now that's crazy. When I know three people personally that have recently refinanced their home, and they all got less than 3%.
Right. Right, and that's just unheard of. I mean, I couldn't even finance mowers for less than 4. So it's incredible. But like I said, that's easy money to get. You know what I mean? So that creates a economy that's booming. You know what I mean? But I'm afraid when those go back up, it's just going to be, the credit card rates will go back up too. All interest rates go up at the same time. So it's just kind of invest in gold, silver. I mean, that's where you need to keep your money because. And another thing is we're on a fiat currency system which is backed by nothing. You know what I mean? So we used to be on the gold standard until the 70s, and then now it's fiat, which means fake. It's nothing. Nope. It's backed by nothings. And so, I mean, the money we owe in debt is money circulating in the economy. We owe to the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned, complex. So I don't know how far you want to go down this rabbit hole, but so that's. I just think it's and what I mean. I see a paradigm shifting happen from people using people to more computers. I think it's going to be so much more online based, which I don't like necessarily the whole online call and get a robot. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of it's going to move virtually and more of a virtual reality type experience with things. So. We just have to keep our thinking caps on and pray to God every day we can open our doors. So I mean, just got to work hard, and people who adapt, I think, are the ones who are going to make it. But the people who think 2010 is still here, it's going to be scary to see us shift here. So, but yeah,
and it's at some point everybody's going to have to shift. Change is just like death and taxes. It's inevitable.
That's a good one.
And that's one of the things that's gonna happen. Is there anything in your industry specifically that you have had to adapt to, or have possibly seen a change for the better just over the last few months with everything happening?
That's a great question. Farmers has been great about trying to adapt and, moving to the online mobile. So there's interfaces with the mobile, the desktop, whatever you need for that. You never even have to come to an agency if you don't want to, I'm basically here to make sure you don't have any gaps in coverage, to ensure you're actually covered properly. No one's policy is the same. And even if you go get a quote from State Farm, then come over here, I'm going to build it completely different than the State Farm did. You know what I mean? Just because that's how it works. And we want to give you the best kind of service and the best kind of coverage. And Farmers has been great about moving online and doing that kind of stuff. And it's frustrating right now because a lot of people can't go in person because of the coronavirus, so it's hard to get contractors and stuff on site. But, we're able to go there and take pictures, wear a mask, whatever. So we get it taken care of still. But, I think a lot of it's moving to the DIY for customers to kind of, list their house by taking pictures of their own, you know what I mean? And so they can list it themselves, stuff like that. So, but there still needs to be an agent to ensure they're getting the, to ensure you're pricing it right and the deal goes through and the titles worked right. And so I still think there's need for us, and we just have to keep, adapting as an agent position to keep moving forward. So you feel the same way? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I get asked quite a bit, especially with Zillow opening up, their own home loan service, and in some places they're trying to open up agencies if they're going to, and they're trying to convert it to online only. Right. I may be wrong. I don't foresee agents going away themselves, because as good as that house looks in pictures, and that's what, again, don't get it wrong, they're supposed to look that good
on pictures.
in pictures,
on a listing.
But for somebody to go just take a chance, and so if you list it yourself and just take a chance of having somebody that you don't know come in, you are not insured. You have to, there's still a matter of paperwork has to be done. Where I, as an agent, I'm insured through the Realtor Association, because I am a realtor. I'm not just a real estate agent.
That's right.
So there is a difference. But I mean, that's just kind of what I've seen with people. They are continuing to go online, but I don't foresee agents themselves being replaced, because it's just going to come down to who can provide the better service, because there is a difference between online versus in person.
Certainly.
And because I'm sure you kind of have to spell some things out for people and kind of explain a little more in depth than what they are just going to read. Or, it's like the legal disclosures that come up, or terms and conditions when you come up online or download something. Have you read this? Well, nobody reads it. They just click the box.
Exactly. So you need someone there to guide you through that and understand the underlying contract in the policy. You're absolutely right.
And for that reason, I feel like agents, not just real estate agents, but insurance agents, they're not going to go away.
There's still value there, is what you're saying too. So that's great, because sometimes it keeps me up at night. You know what I mean? Worried about my position here, and so. But I think you're absolutely right. There's got to be people there to kind of guide them through the process and walk them through. The people who don't want to read the jargon on the app and stuff like that. So we just had a cat run out of the front door there. So.
Oh, came back, so you're good.
Okay.
And that's really all the questions that I had for you, just to get an idea of who you are and what really separates you from somebody else. And the biggest thing that I've noticed personally that sets you away or apart from somebody else is your sense of community involvement and giving back. I've seen you with a lot of that, and I've seen you kind of hustling and grinding more compared to agents that were starting out in your position. Is that just part of your core values, or are you doing that because you kind of know you have to?
I really appreciate that compliment, and the only reason I'm there is because you're there too, volunteering and working hard too. So obviously it is a core value, but I think the only way to do business is to serve your community, and your community will serve you. So and that goes a long ways. And like you said, to replace us with computers, the computer can't go to the chamber and donate, and you know what I mean. So you got to be involved, and you got to volunteer. And I'm in the Lions Club, vice president there, and love working with those people there, and great community involvement. But like I said, with this Corona stuff, it's been tough to do those kind of things. And you have a nonprofit yourself, so you kind of been trying to get people out, and we've done some promotions too to try to get people out. And I think so you're absolutely right. But yeah, core values, and the only way to do business is by working hard and treating people right. So it's no secret,
Well, it may not be a secret, but it is going to be something that not everybody is willing to do. They don't want to necessarily give up, their, I guess, spare time or their time in general.
Exactly.
That they could be, giving back and just making a little bit of difference in the community.
Right. And the compliment from Matt there was really special to me, because he actually received the volunteer award from the Chamber of the Year. I mean, volunteer of the year. I mean, it's a serious. There's only one of them. So, and Matt got that. So that compliment means an awful lot to me. But on your point there, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's important to be a part of that and stay involved and work hard. So yeah.
Do you have any other questions of me, or anything that we haven't covered that you want people to know or want to share with people, little insight or behind the scenes?
You bet. So kind of through this conversation, you might think I do a lot of things, but I really just try to specialize in one thing on each thing. So like, for example, with the insurance, I try to specialize in senior citizens. So we have another business called Flint Hill Senior Solutions, and it works with our Farmers branch to write burial policies for senior citizens, do fixed annuities, which is like you take $100,000 and put it into an account, and it'll pay you a paycheck so you don't outlive your money, essentially, and then that money goes to your heirs. So it's like a fixed annuity. So there's a lot of different things we kind of do for, and then with the auction thing, we can sell their estate stuff. You know what I mean? So it all kind of works together. And if you kind of just niche yourself and specialize, you'll find that you can branch out and do other things and keep specializing in those, and put people in place that do specialize in them, so you can grow and scale and put your systems in place. And I mean, that's the trick to it. So,
and I think the biggest thing for me was the auction service, because as you are helping them with a tragic event in their life, you're able to just not only help them with their continuing insurance needs, whether it's life insurance or home insurance, but also make sure they have a guide and a plan for what's next.
Yeah.
So whether it's to settle in a state or just downsize in general.
Exactly. And we work with the attorneys here in town and the funeral home. So it's like kind of a combo. You come here and we'll help you just ensure you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, because it's hard to deal with and it's emotionally hard to deal with, you know what I mean? So if people are here with smiles on their faces and willing to help you through that in the easiest way possible, the cheapest way possible, I think that's how we are able to stay alive right now. So that's what we're working through. So, but that's kind of the tricks. If you're working on something yourselves, I would say to specialize and get really, really good at one thing, whatever it is, say real estate, get really good at selling single family homes, apartments, whatever it is, and just focus on that, and then just kind of, you know, broaden your spectrum from there and scale. And that's how you get wealthy, is just, you know, a heart surgeon makes more than an MD. So that's kind of just the basic concept of it, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. Just and that's a great example is, you know, a heart surgeon or brain surgeon as opposed to just a family physician or primary care.
Right.
I mean, that is a great example of what it can be and what it can mean to make a difference.
Right. And you can own the hospital and have your heart surgeon and you can have your desk unlicensed agent, and you can have your specialized commercial agent, and you know what I mean? You can still do that, you know? So, I think that's the trick to a successful agency or business or whatever it is. And so in lawn care, we kind of did the same thing. First we started with just mowing. We just did mowing, and then we just did mowing with bushes. And then, now all we do is irrigation and fertilization. So that's all we do now is irrigation and fertilization. So it's kind of how, if I suggest doing that in any industry you're in, because that's, people will know you for home insurance or whatever it is, We're trying to get known for the life insurance with senior citizens. You know what I mean? So that's kind of our niche here in Kansas. So, yeah.
And I think that was actually what the topic that I mentioned today on the podcast of you being the sponsor of the week was life insurance specifically, because that's one thing that just from me looking outside in is not something people want to talk about on a regular basis, because it's not something pleasant.
Right.
You want to talk about, discuss, or think about down the road. And that's why, again, my opinion, I may be wrong, that's why people want to avoid it or don't think about it in general, because it's an uncomfortable topic.
Absolutely, and it is, but it's the number one way that families have maintained generational wealth over the last 1,000 years. Is through life insurance, it's. I only believe in 3 products, and I can show you what those 3 are if you want to come down sometime. But like I said, I want to be real about it, and so I'll show you what those 3 products are that I truly stand behind, and I'm not trying to show you any gimmicks, nothing like that. So when I just help your family out, that's all that's about. But yeah, it is a tough conversation to have, but it's a necessary thing if you want your kids to pay off their mortgage and your grandkids to go to college. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a it will make your family who they are down the road. It can really change lives. So, so it can really go a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else? Kelsey, do you want to say anything, or is there anything else we forgot to cover?
I don't think so. We're hiring.
Yeah, we are hiring for all positions, really. We are looking to expand. We have a floor upstairs ready to go for employees. So, we were just having to kind of get through that coronavirus thing. We didn't want that's got to be hard to have a ton of employees going through that stuff. Luckily, we just had like W-2 ones at the time where we can kind of just, or W-9 rather. But we're looking for W-2 employees, real employees. It's base pay plus commission. We can show you that structure. Come on down. We'll give you an application. We want you guys to be successful. So the example we will give you on that application shows how you can make $100,000 here as a producer agent here. So it's just up to you to put the work in. So we can provide a platform for you, and you guys can put the work in and make whatever you want to here. So we look forward to get motivated people down here. So now people are probably laid off or whatnot and stuff. Come on down. We'll see if we can make a change in your life or something. So. So
that's awesome. That's exciting. So thank you, because that's why I like to ask.
I never even thought of that.
All right, I guess that is going to wrap it up. Thank you so much again for sitting down with me and being the first sponsor of the week to be willing to come on camera, sit in front, and go through the questions and be grilled. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you guys for watching the Hot List with Matt in the Hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have an awesome day, and we'll see you next week.
That's right. Thank you.